off the hook for that one. So
All right.
got one down already. Let's see here. Let me get it set up for you. Right into it. Can you tell when they're stressed out, or do they do a pretty good job masking it, or how's that all work out?
I mean, they do a pretty good job. I feel it's at some point everybody shows of some kind of stress, whether it be a lot or a little, but everyone shows it in different ways.
Right.
And I can pretty much pick up when someone's under stress, and they kind of have certain ways of showing that they are.
That's for sure. Good situation.
Right.
So
Right.
they may be coming in stressed themselves, and all of a sudden you made a bad situation. All right, one more.
Sure.
How about saying no to activities that do not fit my goals and for which I do not have time?
I put that I do say no.
Okay.
Sometimes it's hard to say no to activities that you want to
That's
participate in, but you don't really have.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, in summary, we did this exercise so you kind of realize what you can and can't control throughout your day, and it sounds like you have everything pretty shored up. And even coming through this just a few days into the session, it's interesting to see the various responses you get from different service advisors on what they think they can and can't control. So, all right, very good. Okay. All right. It's actually a myth. If you prioritize, you're going to find that not everything is equally important. So if one of your responsibilities is making sure the printer has paper, but another responsibility is interfacing with the customer, you're going to realize that,
the customer's going to come first.
Exactly.
Right? I hear a lot of health issues are related to stress, so I would say true.
That's correct. Yep. There's a British Medical Journal article that was recent, and as far as stress-related diseases, job stress is probably one of the bigger ones that increase the chance of coronary heart disease. So, number 3, I'm not in control of my time.
Myth.
That's a myth. That's correct. And I think you demonstrated that on the prize page, so I'm not going to delve into that one at all. Number 4, those who are busiest get the most done.
I would have to say myth.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, you hear the term lots of activity but no productivity sometimes. Yeah, that kind of describes some people. My mother-in-law's like that. She goes like 100 miles an hour. At the end of the day, she doesn't really do anything. So we all know those types of people too.
Yeah.
Number 5, to ensure tasks are done correctly, I have to do them myself.
Here we rely a lot on our coworkers, our other service advisors, and they're very good at what they do.
Okay.
So I know that if I were to hand something off to one of them, I wouldn't have to worry about it getting done the right way.
Okay.
So I would say myth on that.
Excellent. Yeah, and that's correct too. So I assume because you're up here right now that someone's backing you up down the service lane.
Right.
That one's a myth.
Myth?
Yeah, it's experienced by people. I would say at all levels. I would say from the porter all the way up to the dealer principal. I think there's different stress that you include. You always hear that everyone has their own battles, right? So whether you're at the top of the food chain or you're just getting started in the dealership business, I think you have different stress across all those
stress levels. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Other Americans take the vacation time allotted to them.
True.
I wish it was true. I wish it was true.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 80% actually, and we're.
A couple of them. Instead of 20% of work turnover, it's 40%.
Yep.
I mean that's high.
Yeah, it happens. And sometimes people think that the only way out is to leave the job, and usually that's not the case. I mean, you can talk to your boss, talk to a fellow worker, talk to your family, talk to your support group, talk to your friends.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's other ways out than just up and leaving. So, what was the other one?
The technology.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of surprising. I would have thought that to be true. But
Yep. I think if you manage it properly, it probably can make it a lot more productive.
Yeah.
Especially, it sounds like you have a really good handle on X time.
Yeah.
I think that can also be overwhelming for a newer advisor, right?
Yeah.
So that's for sure. Talk about that in just a few minutes, but so you think that most people respond to stress in negative ways or unscheduled.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me about how do you react to that kind of a situation?
Well, you try to get the ones that are, if they're the first in the lines, they have the appointments. You would actually want to get them checked in, start up the right. Depends on what side they're coming in from. Because if you're coming in from the main shop, you got to have an appointment.
Yep.
Otherwise, we do take non-appointments through express service. So it depends on if they're coming in for work that they should have appointments for.
Mm-hmm.
I try to explain, well, you don't have an appointment. We'll do what we can to fit it in, do our best to get to it.
Yep.
And just trying to do what you can to make them happy.
That's right.
Let them be willing to leave the car with you and give you time to work on their vehicle.
Yep.
It's a process, and then let the other customers know you'll be right with them.
Right.
As soon as you can. And then you try to explain to them that they're supposed to have. Well, next thing you know, you get something like that happen, and then that's when the stress starts.
That's right. So if your brain recognizes something that is something like a physical standpoint, so you got a stress ball, right? So that's yours to keep. You can hang on to that.
Thank you.
It's just something to help you deal with stresses in the day. Sometimes that's all it would take is just a simple hand exercises, things like that. There's 3 main coping strategies on page 9 that we're going to be talking about. And the first one is changing your mindset. So you already said that you love the job. You like the different interactions that you have on a daily basis, and it really makes the job different and challenging for you. So you like serving customers. The other thing that I say, and I speak from experience, is that you're either cut out to do this job,
or you're not.
And there's no middle ground, I don't think. If you're not cut out for this job, I think you're gone fairly soon.
I agree.
Yeah, unless someone's I've got a friend in the service department that's keeping you on board for whatever reason. But you're either cut out or you're not.
Yeah.
Even though you don't seem like a very stressful guy. I wonder, what would happen if this would have happened. I wonder what his outcome would have been if I would have said this instead of that. You kind of go through those things in your head. So with that said, having good processes in place, like you obviously have, I think that helps to reduce stress a lot. Eliminating stressors, working through issues, staying true to what you're prioritizing through today, going through that schedule like you're talking about in the morning. And then changing any sort of habits that you have that would be considered like tension-producing habits. So, whatever those are. Yeah, it pays off in dividends. It really does. Helps you keep more focused, concentrated, probably better attitude.
Right.
Everybody recognizes that. And it's like, man, sleep is so highly underrated.
It is. It is.
So, and then exercise. You do any sort of exercise?
I run.
Okay.
Do a lot of cardio.
Cool.
So that I do, and like you drink a lot of water.
Okay.
So that and there's a lot of cardio basically.
So it's like you exercise. You make time to find out when to exercise. Make time to find out when to do cardio. For me, with this job at least, and even the last job I had, it didn't lend itself well to being able to go to a gym. But because I got a family, I got a baby daughter now. What did I do? I worked out at home. So I did all the cardio workouts and stuff. Luckily, got a nice basement where we can work out and not an issue. Then shower up, ready for the day. Right? Exactly. So good throughout the day, especially if they're a non-waiter.
First of all, I ask them, is there any particular time that you need the vehicle by? Okay. And if they say no, whenever, then I kind of give them a couple hours or not till later this afternoon, or I try not to keep it too specific, only because it's hard to do that. I mean, especially when you got everything else going on. The way the dispatching system works. So I try not to tell them, it'll be ready by 1 o'clock. Later this afternoon or later this evening, and depending on who the kind of feel I get from the customer.
Okay.
So,
okay, cool.
Usually the cashier handles that.
Okay.
Take a stroll and make sure everything's
good.
Yeah.
All right, good. So that responsibility is at least delegated to someone
right.
else, right? Because that's one thing you always want to. That's actually a question on the survey, right?
Yeah.
It's like conditions of the amenities and all those things.
Yeah.
Too.
So the cashier usually does the waiting area, coffee area, the snack bar area.
Good.
So,
Good.